Welcome back, my friends. Today we're going to be unboxing and building the Elder Scrolls Call to Arms Plastic Imperial Faction Starter Set. Boy, that is a mouthful. I've already done an episode on unboxing the Stormcloak box set, and you guys really enjoyed that, so I thought we'd unbox this one next on the channel. And of course, if you like these miniatures and you want to buy them yourself, you can actually check out the link in the description. And you can purchase them there and use the code ESO5, 5% off at the checkout. Now, as you guys can see here, included in here is Hadvar, Hero of Helgen, who's just here. This is the bloke you escape Helgen with at the start of the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Then we have the Imperial Mage Spellsword, who's just here. He is a bit of a utility belt to the army, really, and she kind of shows that mages are going to be really powerful in this game, as I'll talk about in a moment. Then we just get 3 Imperial soldiers with swords and shields. So let's open this up right now. So it's worth noting that if you get the plastic version of these miniatures, you actually only get these normal flat plastic bases instead of, if you get the resin version, you get kind of like these like scenic bases you can see just here. That is the only real difference. There is also a difference between the quality of the plastic versus resin miniatures. You actually get a lot more detail on the resin version of these miniatures. However, that said, these plastic miniatures are actually really well detailed and really high in quality compared to the plastic version of the Wasteland Warfare miniatures they created. So I'm really impressed with these Elder Scrolls miniatures quality. We also get the instructions in here as well. So this is going to explain how we're going to actually build all of the miniatures, these 3 normal Imperials, and then the 2 hero characters, the Mage and Hadvar, who we're going to build first because they're a little bit more complicated. So as you guys can see, Hadvar is E1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we need to find those on the plastic here. You can see this is Hadvar just here. The frame, and then we'll put the rest of these aside for now, and we're going to work with this here. So first thing we're going to do is cut out the parts of the miniature. There are a little bits you need to watch out for here. So you can see on the legs specifically, there's kind of like this square part just here that fits underneath the torso and makes the legs sort of sit in the right position. Make sure that you don't accidentally cut it here. You want to cut it just here. So that square is basically, so you guys can see that square is still on the miniature. File off that little bit extra at the end there. You can get files for a few pounds at your local craft store. But these miniatures are quite simple, so I actually recommend just cutting out absolutely everything before you start gluing, to be honest. You can do it bit by bit, but honestly, you're not really going to struggle by accidentally putting a leg on Hadvar's head or something. So I don't think that's anything you really need to worry about. And by the way, guys, if you enjoy these little tutorial videos, I would appreciate it if you liked them. Also, if you really liked them, I guess you could subscribe and press the bell notification, and YouTube will bamboozle you with messages every time I post a video. Hadvar kind of looks really happy, doesn't he? About to get his head chopped off by some clippers, but forget about it. A lot of people seem to be watching these videos because they find them relaxing, and I honestly, while I know from my main channel that has 1 million subscribers that people tell me this, but I honestly didn't expect that many people would be watching these videos because of that and not because of the tutorial element. Yet here we are. Thought I would just leave in the whole video and not cut any bits out. Make sure, by the way, when you're doing this bit, his sword arm quite delicate, so take your time there. Is that his sword arm? No, it looks like he's holding a shield. Just here. E2. Make sure you don't accidentally break off more bits than you can do. Once you've done with this, by the way, just yeet it out of the way. Like so. Now what we need to do is, as you guys can see, there's some little kind of white plastic bits sticking off this sword here. We've got to file those off now. I'm going to be doing this with a normal metal file. You can also use a craft knife. I prefer filing it because I just think it leaves kind of a nice smooth finish. But to be honest, if you're good with a craft knife, it does too. I just once accidentally cut myself while using a craft knife. There we have it. We've cut out all of these little pieces of miniatures, and I mean it's kind of obvious what goes where really. But nonetheless, we're going to be using plastic glue for this next part from Games Workshop because they have a really good plastic glue. If you're not familiar with it, you can use super glue as well, but basically plastic, as you can see, if we apply just a little bit of it on the surface that we're going to be gluing here, this torso area, it actually melts away a tiny bit of the plastic layer on top, so that when you connect the other torso bit to it, it will actually cement it together in a very secure way, which is, to be honest, with plastic miniatures, better than super glue. I absolutely love the detail on these miniatures. I'm so impressed. I mean, look at that sort of metal, I don't know what it's called, it's like a leather metal skirt. The shoulder pads, I think, they actually look like that in the game. Probably do. They look quite cool though. I like the pose, I like the dynamic movement on it. And they've done a really good job hiding the seams of the armor from where you connect it together underneath the arms, so it's kind of not noticeable. Especially when you paint it up, it's not really going to be an issue. Next thing I recommend doing is painting the legs. So we're going to put a bit of glue in there and the other side as well. You can't really go wrong here because the legs only fit in one way. So I usually tell people to dry fit the miniature, but to be honest, yeah, they're just so easy to put together and so beginner friendly. I mean, you probably won't really be watching this video for the tutorial, I guess, but let me know if you are, because it's good to know. I think if you're a true beginner to it, then you'll probably find this helpful, especially the painting tutorials after we're done here. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to glue in Advar's shield arm. So get his shield and his hand as well. You can see it's kind of got this little sort of T pose to it. And that kind of glues on here like so. Let's put some glue in there across the T section there. Just push that in place. There you have it. Shield is ready to go. Before I put his shield on there, I'm actually going to do his sword arm. So let's go back to the miniature itself and glue that up. There we go. If you guys are ever confused about where to put these parts, by the way, just have the box in front of you so you can actually see what the miniatures are supposed to look like and you don't end up putting the sword on, I don't know, backwards or on the wrong arm or something. I mean, you've probably got to have messed up pretty hard if you've got that far. Let's do the shield next then. You can see Hadvar's kind of using this to defend himself. Comes on at an angle here. There we go. Starting to look like an Imperial soldier now. Actually got arms. I mean, pretty sure you need arms if you're in the Imperial Legion. And we can do the head. A little bit more glue. Make sure his head actually kind of just slides into place there, by the way, because you don't want it to look a little bit askew otherwise. There we go. There we have it. That's Hadvar finished. That's what it looks like. Like a bit of a badass, doesn't it? Be a bit of a tanky boy, I reckon. Okay, so now let's move on to the next miniature. The next miniature we're going to be doing is actually the Fire Mage, and she's just here at the top. Makes it very easy for us. We can just cut off the top one. And then we do the Imperial soldiers after this, which are all essentially the same, aside from the fact that they're in different poses. So yeah, this is D7. You can see the instructions down here next to us. be honest, you don't really need to follow them. You know, I feel like if you're completely new to miniatures, you'll definitely be following these instructions. But these are so simple where you can probably just put them together with common sense, to be honest. I reckon it would be a good test for a 5-year-old. Actually got some fire coming out of the hand just here, so obviously make sure you don't cut that off accidentally. That's going to be fun when we come to a painting tutorial. I can teach you guys how to do lighting effects on this miniature. Oh, I love the fact she's got like a hood on her head. That's pretty fun. Okay, so once you've filed absolutely everything, we can then come to gluing the miniatures together. So let's start off with the torso. As usual, that's always the best place to start. Put those two pieces together like so. Notice the female mage is a lot skinnier. And then we can do the legs. Glue both of those together. Got quite a sort of wide stance as well to her. There we go, the legs are on. I'm actually going to put her head on next. This is her blasting a fireball out at some poor soul in the distance there. Make sure it's actually angled, kind of like, you know, it's firing at somebody and not that you're firing at the ground or something. Otherwise, you will just look weird. Okay, the next arm. He's holding another fireball, preparing it. So there you have it. That is the Fire Mage all finished. It looks pretty epic. Let's put her back next to Hadvar and let's get on with the more generic miniatures. The Imperials with the swords. As you guys can see, again, quite simple. This guy's actually scattered into a few different pieces. He's got his body separate from his torso and legs. So actually maybe we'll do him first because he's a bit harder. So Imperial Legion faction. Okay, after you're done cutting them all out together, the nice man skirt, love it. And then we can put together the top part of the torso just here as well. Okay. Then do this giant cube section, bottom half of the body. Also, I'm just going to clear his face on right now. Quite a tiny bit. I don't want to forget about it. Leg number 1. And leg. Just make sure with this miniature that the legs are actually sitting on a level surface, like so. Because it's quite easy with this one in particular to actually glue the legs so they're not sitting level. So I recommend just, you know, having something flat like the table. Next thing, let's glue a shield on. The sword arm is actually in 2 bits. So we'll start off by gluing this square section just here, which part of his arm fits into. You'd hope so anyway, wouldn't you? Actually swinging his sword. And finally we have his shield arm, which is really simple. Just fits in over here. Kind of holding it back to shins by the looks of it. There you have it. One Imperial soldier swinging his sword. So now we've got a couple more of these to do, and I'm just going to jump ahead. Okay, so we've finished putting together these Imperial soldiers. As you guys can see, we've got the 3 standard Imperial soldiers with a sword and shield at the bottom here. They've actually got a light wooden shield as well, whereas Hadvar has a heavy steel Imperial shield and the heavy Imperial armor, whereas everyone else is in light armor. I actually really do like the heavy Imperial armor, and I know they're coming out with more of those, so that's quite exciting if you have decided to collect the Imperial faction. Yeah, I'm really impressed with these miniatures. A couple of notes about them. Like this guy just here, he's actually holding his shield quite close to his body. Depending how you're painting these, you may prefer to leave this shield off the miniature and just attach his arm and then do it later, just because then you can actually paint in between the shield and his body a little bit easier. The same with this guy and his leg. But to be honest with you, the way I like to paint these, and something called underpainting, which is a video I will link down below for you on how to base coat your miniatures in a way that gives them like really natural highlighting compared to just painting block colors. And I will link that video down below for you so you can watch that and make up your mind if you want to do that yourself. I'm also going to be doing a painting tutorial for these miniatures. But yeah, let me know if you guys enjoyed this building tutorial, and subscribe and press the bell notification if you did. I really like this guy's pose with the sword, just like he's just swung it and he's looking for like the next enemy. It's so cool. But yeah, thanks for your support, guys. Give it a like if you did enjoy it, and just write green eggs and ham in the comments section if you actually did get this far through the video, because I'm kind of surprised. I don't know how many people are watching the whole thing, but I appreciate it if you are, so thank you. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.